Toastmasters and members of Leeds Speakers Corner. This afternoon is about taking the message of Toastmasters and Leeds speakers outside. Especially as Toastmasters, we meet at the Novotel Hotel. And Leeds Speakers Corner, I think you gentlemen and your members meet somewhere like here. Toastmasters is about getting people to improve their communication and leadership skills. That's what Toastmasters is all about. Some of us have been Toastmasters for some time now, and we have reaped the benefits of being Toastmasters in improving our communication skills as well as leadership skills and our general confidence as well. We have a few speakers this afternoon, and our first speaker is John Fletcher, and John is going to talk to us about the title of John's speech is What If and If Only. So with the speech entitled What If and If Only, please welcome John Fletcher.
I can't believe that I'm actually doing this today, that I've actually volunteered myself to come and stand in the middle of Leeds voluntarily to give a speech. I could be sat at home right now watching the television, relaxing, with a cup of tea in my hand, but no, I'm here in the middle of Leeds on a Saturday afternoon giving a speech. There's a reason that I'm stood here though. 2.5 years ago, I attended my first Toastmasters meeting. And just like the first time I stood up in front of a Toastmasters audience, today I'm frightened, I'm afraid. But there's something else that frightens me more than standing here. And that's the possibility that one day I may wake up and realise that it's too late for me to do anything with my life, that I've lived a life that I've not enjoyed, a life without purpose, a life full of regret. And I don't want that. It's easy to say you've got to take control of your life, that you've got to be in control of your own life. It's easy to say that, but how many of us actually do that? I know that there are people all over the world, faraway places, that don't have any choice about what they do, about where they live. Their lives are controlled by their governments, but in this country we don't have that. We've got a lot of freedom here in this country. And we should take advantage of that. About 18 months ago, I just realised just how important it actually is to really take control of your life and to really stick two fingers up at your fears. Going back to about 2009, I'd just come out of university and I just graduated, and I was completely unprepared for what life expected of me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a job or anything like that. And when you're in that situation, people give you all sorts of advice. Advice that they mean well. They want to help you. They genuinely want to help you. But it might not be the best advice for you. They might tell you to go for this job or that job because that's where the money is. That's what you should do. Or they tell you a job's a job at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what kind of job you've got, as long as you've got a job. So I did that, I got a job. I just took the first job that came along to me. And if I'm honest with you, at the start it was okay. I enjoyed it, it was easy. After 4 years of an algebra onslaught of a maths degree, it was easy and I was happy about that. But after a few months I decided that I wanted more. I wanted more from my life. I didn't want just an easy job, an easy life. And the way that I saw the opportunity for more challenges and problems to solve was to work up the ladder in the company that I was working for. And that's what I started to do. But then the higher up I got, the more I realised that I was doing something that I didn't enjoy, something that I wasn't necessarily good at. I wasn't achieving my full potential in life. And the truth is that when you're doing something that you can't, something that you don't enjoy, something that you don't get excited about, something that you're bored with, you can never put 100% of your energy into that job, that work, whatever you're doing. And that's a terrible disservice to yourself and to the people around you. So I realised that something had to change. My job had to change, but what can I do? What does a mathematician do? Accountancy? I guess so. Maybe not for me. Maybe it'd just be out of the frying pan into the fire for me, but what else could I do? And it's at this point that I started to think about what I wanted from life. What do I enjoy doing? What do I want to do? And I realised that I enjoy working with people. Not big groups of people, but one-to-one or in small groups. I enjoy maths, I enjoy teaching maths. I wouldn't necessarily want to be a teacher in a school, but I enjoy presenting maths and science to people. So I thought maybe a maths tutor, one-to-one, would be something that I could do and enjoy. But then as soon as I thought about that, I realised, wait a minute, I don't know anything about working for myself, I don't know anything about running a business, I don't know anything about making a business plan, marketing myself, creating customers. All of these things started to hit me, all of these fears. And then there was one thing that I kept coming back to and thinking, I can't live with that. I thought to myself, how would I feel a year down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line? If I turn my back on this opportunity, how am I going to feel? Am I going to feel satisfied? Am I going to feel that it was the right decision? And it was that convinced me 100% to do what I did next, and that was to quit my job and start to work for myself. The first thing that I did was I went to the tax office, registered self-employed. The next thing I did was thought, oh crap, I don't know what to do now. But every day I'd do a bit more research, I'd learn a bit more about my market, about getting customers, about my business, about myself, about the subjects that I love, maths and science. Every day I was learning at a rate that I could never have imagined in my old job. I was happy, I was sleeping well, I was eating well, sometimes maybe a little bit too much. But I was learning and I was happy and I was enjoying my life. Do I regret what I did? Not at all. It was a big risk that I took, but I took that risk. Today I'm still self-employed and today I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning more about myself, I'm learning more about my business, about what I want to do, and I'm happy. Ladies and gentlemen, don't leave it too late. Ask yourself the question now, what if? What if I do this? What if I do that? But don't run away from your fears. That fear will turn to excitement. That's why I'm stood here today, because this frightens me. And I want that fear to turn into excitement. As I get better at what I do, as I learn more about what I do, I get excited about what I do. When you're excited, you can give 100% to what you're doing. How much more do you think people appreciate it when you're giving them 100% of your time, 100% of your effort, instead of that 60% that you might be giving to something that you don't enjoy? Ask the what if now, instead of looking back in 20 years and thinking, if only. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. My name's John Fletcher. Thank you very much.
Can we ask questions?
Questions? You want to ask questions? Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know if I missed it, but I didn't hear what it is that you do that's so exciting. But I want to come and do it as well.
I'm a maths tutor.
Ah,
I do
never mind.
one-to-one maths tuition.
Right, I see. Yeah, okay.
It excites me, doesn't excite everybody. It excites me.
No. All right then.
Any more questions?
I concur with you as well, because last time we got here, somebody was passing by, and I said to him, why don't you get involved with us? And he said if I'd seen you doing this, he'd have walked right by and considered us to be mad. So what we're trying to do is to get people out to the open, and just to express themselves about nothing major or special. Exercise your vocal cords, communicate in the day, discuss with one another, meet new people. It's not harmless fun really. And we just hope to, reinvent our city centres.
Point of
promote
order,
citizenship.
if you're making a speech, you should be where he is.
I'm trying to heckle, but I've done a very bad job at heckling.
That's a rubbish heckle.
You need to get up there as well then though. Get up there.
Well,
Right, thank you for your start. Thank you very much, John.
Now, one thing that we do in Toastmasters, we are from Toastmasters, some of you who just joined us. Two things we do in Toastmasters. The first thing is we clap. Somebody who comes up here to give a speech, we always clap just to encourage that person. And the other thing we do is we shake hands. It's not because we are a cult, we are not. It's a way of passing control of this stage. The person who comes up here shakes hands with the person who is here, passing control of the stage. Our next speaker is Chris Wofford, and Chris is the president of Leeds City Toastmasters. I've listened to quite a number of Chris's speeches, and I think this one by far will be the most interesting, I would say, even going by.
Are you trying to say that I'm not interested, John?
I said more. And the title of Chris's speech today is In Defense of Nudity. So the speech entitled In Defense of Nudity, please welcome Chris.
Hey.
Why is it that I can take a child into a cinema? I can show him a British secret agent gunning down hundreds of people, twisting people's necks until they snap. But if I, in front of all of you now, were to unbuckle my trousers and pull down my pants, I could be arrested. Arrested for my natural, normal-ish human body. What message does this teach our children? Surely it's that violence is okay, but nakedness is not. That it's fine to go out and kill people and attack people, but the normal human form is something to be embarrassed about. Is this a world we want to live in? Is this the message that we want to teach our children? I would suggest that it's not. I think we need to adopt a much more liberal attitude to nudity. Now, nudity is perfectly natural. We come into this world naked. We go out of this world, I'm hoping at least, naked. Every other species of animal, and of course humans are just one species of animal, lives their entire lives in the nude. Even other countries can't understand the British fascination with covering up. In Finland, you wouldn't dream of going into a sauna with your friends, family or strangers wearing anything. Nudity is perfectly natural and not something we should be embarrassed about. It also doesn't harm anybody. Ask yourselves, what would happen if I saw someone over there naked? Would I be hurt in any way? Of course not. But having a taboo against it causes serious harm to our society. It's a tax on the poor. The average person spends £1,100 a year buying clothing. Kids bullied at school because they can't afford the latest designer gear. It's a real problem in our society, one we could eliminate by having a much more liberal attitude to nudity. It also causes significant self-image problems with our own bodies. Women are taught that they must tuck things in, push things up, and get rid of every blemish by painting over with large amounts of makeup. Once done, they have to squeeze into constricting corsets, hover on high heels, and not touch anything for fear of breaking a nail. A survey.
Lots of town.
women. According to a survey by the makeup specialist, Clinical Makeup Services, the average woman spends 474 days of her life applying cosmetics. That's 3.5 hours a week. Eye makeup alone takes an eye-watering 17 minutes before a night out. We must end this obsession with covering up our natural, normal human bodies. We must be more liberal about it. We must end this tyranny. We live in a world where kids commit high school massacres but are too embarrassed to talk to their parents about safe sex. Ask yourselves, is this a world we want to live in? Or should we challenge these ideas that violence is okay, but nudity is not? I urge you to do so. Any questions?
You're going to get your kit off.
But I could be arrested.
Chris, if you were to go naked, I think people might shun you because you'd have nowhere to put your money and they'd have to pay for everything. You see what I mean? That's what would put them off. Your superb human body would not be a problem at all. In fact, I think you should lead the way. Okay?
If you also look at this nudity as tackling big problems, what's wrong with covering up, which is the exact opposite?
What's wrong with covering up? Well, as I said, I think it creates a very negative stereotype in which people are embarrassed by their own bodies. No wonder we're having so many self-image problems when people are taught that everybody must look like a supermodel because nobody else is in a magazine in skimpy underwear. Now, I have volunteered with many magazines to do that, to help solve this problem, but none of them will take it. It's a problem with the media as much as it is with society.
The problem lies with the media then, doesn't it? And that dictates how society functions. How society
Well, I don't think you
thinks.
can blame the media for all society's problems. I mean, people also just need to be more liberal about the whole thing.
Because I think that... Sorry, don't I give you a bit?
I was just going to say, there's an exhibition at the Clock Hall of nudists. Young people and young adults will we see you there? Are you up there at all? You know?
I'm not, but
Oh, right.
now that I know about it, I'll go down and see how I can get involved.
Hey, love, come and make a speech. Tell us all about it.
I don't know, not been yet.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to hand over.
What about next?
No one. Someone else wants to give a speech.
Well, the floor is open for anybody. Those are two prepared speeches that we have for you this afternoon. If anybody else wants to just talk about anything, it's open to you.
I'll just have a quick one.
Yeah, I think that's
What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm Tony Smith. I live in Woodhouse. I'm on my way to a meeting, so I've not got right long. But I mean, I went to a class years ago for this sort of public speaking, and I'm pretty much used to it because I do performance poetry. I've done amateur acting for about the past 31 years. But what I'm going to talk about now, I've really no idea. It's just been sprung on me, just like this. I just picked this up. I saw this guy talking. I just got curious. I wasn't sure at first. Is it politics? Is it religion? No, it's just public speaking. You know, that's brilliant. But I'm studying. I'm talking. I don't really know when I'm going to shut up. But I'm going to get in touch actually because I think I can improve it a little bit. You know, I mean, having a local accent. Even though I've been to uni, I never picked up a middle class accent. not middle class prejudice. Please don't take that the wrong way. I could do with sort of speaking a bit more clearly, I guess, and I think I'm loud enough anyway.
Has there been anything like this before in Leeds in your time?
I went to a class about 20 years ago now for public speaking. And I went to one before that in the 80s, I think. It was just for a few weeks or so. But anyway, I'm going to get in touch with this and see how it goes, like, you know. So that's about it, really. Thank you.
All right.
I'll get in touch.
Can I?
Yeah, okay.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Wilson. That chap there in the stripy jumper, you look like a burglar actually, I've just realised.
I know.
That's Andrew Ralph. We are the two Leeds representatives of the Speakers Corner Trust, which is trying to set this up and get it going. Because apparently, long ago, before any of us were alive, this was the Speakers Corner in Leeds. And apparently every town everywhere had a Speakers Corner where people could come along and sound forth on whatever subject appealed to them. And nowadays, of course, we've got the internet and we've got tweeting and Facebooking and God knows what else. And everybody thinks that we don't need things like this anymore. I disagree. I think this is quite a useful thing. And I'd like to see it take off. And I'd like to thank you all for coming on today and taking an interest. It will be here again on the second Saturday of every month from now on at 1 PM, exactly the same place. Come along, tell your friends about it, bring them too, even better if they'll tell us something about something, and hopefully we can get a bit of a crowd going and make it a bit of a monthly event in Leeds. So thank you very much for coming. Anybody else want to go? Yeah, you want to go? Come on. Come on. What's your name, young man?
Ravi.
Ravi. Right, this is Ravi. You want to tell us something? Go on.
Good afternoon. We are all gathered here today because of Toastmasters. It's our very first day at Toastmasters and we are having a splendid time. Toastmasters is all about talking in front of other people and expressing yourself, expressing your emotions, doing what others are afraid to do. How old you have to be to go to Toastmasters? Following your heart. Toastmasters is a very competitive activity. We are going there soon. Making speeches is very good. Thank you. Where is that?
What they're talking about was Outreach Toastmasters, which a few of us are involved in. It's all about public speaking, leadership skills, and improving yourselves, improving communication skills, leadership, and your confidence. We are together with some of our members from the Leeds Speakers Corner today.
Are you going to film next month?
Pardon me?
Are you going to film next month?
We'll see. Saturday is not a good day for us. But they have classes in the morning. And we live in Halifax.
Ah, I'm good. Good one.
It's ironic for me to be a lawyer in inverted commas and be scared of advocacy. The reason why we're standing here is to make this a regular event and a regular fixture in Leeds. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 366 for a leap year, just pedantic. But the whole point of it is for people to get here and air their views in public, not be scared of what Joe Blogs thinks, because for some reason when we're online, on Twitter, on Facebook, we think that we're invincible and that it's okay to say what you like because you're hiding behind your keyboard. But that's not the case. And we're here to break that taboo and to make it acceptable for people to come here and air their views. Why reduce everything to a hashtag? Why reduce everything to 140 characters online? When you can come out here and speak your mind, speak to whoever you like, be heckled, heckle other people, and just keep the conversation going and make the city centre an interesting place for all. The other point of it is citizenship. There are a lot of issues that affect us in the world today, and nobody wants to say anything about it because, again, it's considered taboo. We're trying not to scare people off by deliberately not bringing in politics, religion and other sensitive topics, but if anybody really wants to break that boundary, then they're more than free to do so, because This is Speaker's Corner. There are no rules, and as long as everything stays civilised within these borders, within this boundary, then that's fine. We're just talking to the gentleman, I didn't catch your name earlier on. Kenneth. About too many leaders and how everybody wants to be a leader. I think that's one of the issues we have, online especially, where everybody thinks they have something to say, and everybody wants to be famous, everybody wants to be a celebrity, but it's not the right channel to do it. And there is a channel to make your views heard, and to be seen, and to be spoken to, if that's what you really want, and that's to come to places like here. We've got many people walking past, obviously giving us funny looks, wondering what we're doing, and we're looking back at them, and saying, what are you doing staring at us? I'm doing that just to pass time. But, you know, as long as we stay interested and keep dedicated to this, I think this will catch on. We've got this gentleman here who's interested and now he's walking away. It's a bit of a shame. Okay, mate. Last time we were here, which was a month ago now, because we meet officially on the second Saturday of every month. Last time we were here, somebody thought we were a bit mad, and he said that if he'd seen us here by ourselves, he would have walked on by and wouldn't have given a second thought about us, which I thought was a bit of a shame, because that's the kind of apathy and indifference we're trying to tackle. I then asked him if there was a war that was going, that our government was going to get this country involved in, what would you do? And he said he'd be out on the streets marching. So that, to my mind, smacked of jumping on the bandwagon and being part of a trend and being part of something that everybody else is a part of. And all things have to start small. So hopefully with time, I know the autumn weather's going to come soon and the wet weather and the cold weather's going to come, but we aim to stick at it and hopefully make this a place that everybody can benefit from, everybody can come to, and make it, you know, an official venue for everybody to come to. So thanks for listening, and if anybody's got any questions, then raise your hands. I have seen you before. It's Richard Horseman, isn't it? John Wilson, my lawyer in the legal world.
Why should I ask you a question?
Because the floor is now open to questions.
Oh, God.
Yes.
How can we get regular updates from Leeds Speakers Corner?
You asked me this before, actually, and I wasn't.
Speakers Corner Trust website.
The Speakers Corner Trust website is good. A bit of history. About a year ago, nearly, I got in touch with Peter Bradley of the Speakers Corner Trust because his goal is to set up Speakers Corners, not just around the UK, but in other parts of the world. I think he's been to Nigeria, and to make them, you know, a venue for everybody to go to reinvent citizenship and to reinvent city centres. And then he came up to Leeds because he was on his way to Bradford, and I believe John is involved with the Bradford project. And Peter then got me in touch with John, and then I sent out emails. Chris, you then got in touch, and we met one Saturday afternoon. It was a bit of a flop, but then we decided we'll get going after the new year. And then round about February, March time, we got a bit of press interest from the local media, from the Evening Post, from Calendar News, and so on. We wanted to know what all the fuss was about, and we had our 15 minutes of fame, and we, you know, capitalised on that, for want of a better word. So we came down here in the pouring rain, and we've really just kept at it really ever since, and we've made it our own little thing, but for the benefit of everybody. And we'd like it to be for everybody and belonging to everybody. We don't want it to be our own and belonging to us only, because that would defeat the object. The whole point of this is to make it a place for everybody, not just for us. It shouldn't be officially run. I think there's those of us who volunteer our time to post updates online and to inform people when it's happening and how to get involved. But with time, we hope there won't be any need for that, and people will come here of their own free will and get the debate going, get the discussion going, and enjoy themselves. So it's been a year nearly, and we hope that, you know, hopefully this time next year will be something well known. But yeah, to answer your question, that was a bit of a rant. To answer your question, to get regular updates, I think keep checking the Speakers Corner Leeds Twitter account, which has played quite a pivotal role actually. At Leeds Speakers, or Speakers Corner Leeds, type that into Google. And you can find out when we're next officially gathering in inverted commas. That means us as people who are really interested in this. And spread the word really to your friends and to your family. Madame, who walks right past.
I think there's a
Are you
question
interested
down
in
there.
Speakers Corner? Are you interested in Speakers Corner?
How old do you have to be to join?
You don't have to be any age. It can be any age you like. As long as you have something to talk about, then come down here, ask questions, get answers, discuss, debate. Anybody else?
Anyone else want to go? Come on, gentlemen, you look like you're full of opinions.
You know what the strange thing is?
Hey?
The strange thing is, I thought I'd actually be very nervous doing this, but I think, as you probably gathered, I'm enjoying it and I don't want to step down.
Can I ask you?
I could sit here all day.
Can I ask you, Andrew? Going back to the debate we had when we were putting this thing up, is it better with the lectern attachment?
I think it's good because if I was to stand here, what would I do with my hands? Would I stand like this, or could I do look like a bit of a professional who knows what he's talking about, knows what he's doing? Stands like this, does this with his hands.
Very good. Right. Okay.
I think it's excellent.
Okay.
Keep it here, yeah. That's what I say.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Any questions from the floor? Any hot issues you want to talk about?
Well, I think that's fine for today, Andrew. We're doing all right, aren't we? From little acorns, as they say.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
All these
See ya.
people bring all their pals next time. Doing very nicely.
We don't bite. We're just here to talk about anything. Do you have anything that's on your mind?
State of the country.
The state of the country. What's wrong with the country?
Nothing's done.
Oops.
State of the world. Nothing bigger than that.
What can we do to, in your opinion, what can we do to tackle it?
Back to socialism.
Back to socialism. Do you think that the problem stems from people themselves not speaking up enough?
Yes, there is a big element.
Do you think there's an element of apathy and
There is a
indifference?
huge element.
Because that's what we're here to tackle, not from a socialist or capitalist point of view or communist or whatever, just a general point of view. There's a hot topic. I think it was a bad idea for them to take the trees down and replant them because they were nice and mature. But obviously I didn't speak up, and a lot of people don't speak up when there's a topic that affects them. So I think we need to make more of a concerted effort to get down here, to speak, to discuss, to exchange ideas, and to make our voices heard. You've probably seen in France, when they have a protest, they do it properly, don't they?
Yeah.
Not that it's always right the way they do it, torching cars and smashing windows.
But you know they're angry.
Yes. Whereas here, I think people take to the newspaper websites to leave a few comments, blaming the government, we're the persecuted taxpayer. But what are they really doing about it? And I think the trend over here is to wait for what the other person is going to do. And it was, as I was saying earlier, there was somebody who approached me, or I approached rather last time, who said to me, if the government is going to launch us into another war, he would take to the streets. So he would only get involved when things had matured and things had developed. I guess it's like those fuel protests you see online every year or every other few months. There'll be somebody who creates a group online saying, we're going to make a national fuel protest on May the 1st, 2011, I think that was the last one, obviously a flop. And it was a load of people who joined that group who apparently were going to boycott the petrol stations. And they didn't in the end. I mean, you can look at the cars now, they're all filled with petrol. You can look at the state of the roads, more congested than ever. People here, I think, are too indifferent and too apathetic.
Why do you think that is?
Well, do you think it's the education system? Do you think it's the media?
I think it is. You said don't blame the media for everything, but I do blame the media, and the media instills in us ideals and perceptions and ideologies. Because who pays the media? I mean, who pays the newspapers?
The media sell us what we want.
Exactly.
I mean, the Daily Mail couldn't publish their racist nonsense if we didn't go out and buy it. They're just selling to their audience.
Likewise with the Guardian's hypocrisy as well.
It's not very nice. They appeal to that, you know? They know that and they appeal to that. So they sells a newspaper.
And it's not just the right-wing press like the Mail, the Guardian is equally guilty as any from corporate media.
So.
For example, their story last week about 0 hours contract. They're one of the biggest abusers of 0 hours contract. What they do is get rid of their temporary staff after 0 hours after 10 months. And then they re-employ them again to get rank workers' rights. So that our so-called liberal media are anything but, they're just as bad as the Tory Graft or the Mail or whatever. It's finding the really difficult things to find other media like this one, of sharing reviews, not actually relying upon corporate media. For example, there is an excellent website I would recommend to everybody here called Media Lens, which takes a critical view of the media and what is actually what messages are being put over in corporate media. It's superbly argued, very rational, probably on a par with Glenn Greenwald, who writes for The Guardian. Excellent. Start off with Media Lens, all one word. Media Lens, and you'll start to look at every newspaper, every TV channel very differently.
It is, well, I agree. No, I definitely agree with you about the corporate media, because where does our news come from? It comes from two sources, Reuters and the Associated Press. Whether it's the Guardian, the Daily Mail or the Daily Star, it all comes from the same sources. And I think that we don't question the media enough in this country, in this part of the world. We have the tools at our disposal, we have the internet to do our own research. There's a famous quote by somebody which is, how fortunate for governments that the people they administer do not think. Does anybody know who said that?
Say it again, sorry.
How fortunate for governments that the people they administer do not think. That was Adolf Hitler.
Was it?
Adolf Hitler.
That's scary now.
So
scary.
we have the BBC, which is state-run telly more than anything. It's the mouthpiece of the government.
You've got the cameramen to do it, to go out for get the news and that kind of thing. You've forgotten that one.
Which one?
You've forgotten that the cameraman has to go out, you know, and get the stories and that sort of thing. You missed that one out.
Yeah, and they just pay them to bring the news that they want us to hear.
Yeah, you missed that one out. So you did, didn't you?
No offense intended.
No, it's all right. No, it's just
No, I didn't realise that one. Thanks for mentioning the cameramen and the journalists, and they are sent out to paint a narrative that they want us to hear. So it's not about. This isn't meant to be indicative of my political views, but all I'm saying is, if the government's trying to tell us something, before accepting it willy-nilly and saying yes, the government's doing this, we need to accept it. We need to go out ourselves. Without actually going outside, we can stay indoors and we can do our own research and we can question things and learn for ourselves.
No, I'm just saying.
I'll give you another example actually. The diamond industry. Diamonds are only expensive because De Beers...
What about the gold?
And the gold.
Yeah, you have to dig for that as well.
But Nicky Oppenheimer, who was chief executive of De Beers, said that diamonds are intrinsically worthless except for the deep psychological need they fill. And the only reason why diamond engagement rings took off was in the 1920s when De Beers faced a slump in diamond sales. And they contacted a marketing company to basically promote this concept that a diamond is forever. So now, if you truly love somebody, your love isn't worth anything until you buy them a diamond.
And never get the gold.
The gold as well.
Yeah, when you've got the gold there, you have to dig for that as well, you know, like the diamond, you know, you have to go down the mines, you know, and blow up all sorts here and there, you know.
But the thing about diamonds is, if you buy a diamond, the price of that diamond has only been dictated by the people who control the diamond industry. So effectively we're reliant upon the slavery of others to bring us these diamonds. Otherwise, if I were to open a diamond mine in my own back garden and undercut De Beers and the like, they would lose millions, billions even. Their commodity, which is worthless, would be known to be worthless. But we're dependent on this slavery of others, and if other countries, I think, such as in Africa, we're always saying that Africans need to learn to develop and to be less corrupt. If Africans, who aren't stupid, they have the resources, they have everything they need, all the resources in the world they need, they have. If they would stand on their own 2 feet and our multinational corporations were to back out or to get a raw deal, then I think the society we'd be in now, this happy utopia, would collapse overnight. So going back to the issue of advertising and the diamond engagement ring, that's another example of us not questioning where the diamond engagement ring came from. If we'd questioned, if everybody questioned why is a diamond, what's the history of a diamond engagement ring, not just an engagement ring, but a diamond engagement ring, I think we'd understand and learn why diamonds are worthless, who started the diamond industry, and how we're actually caught in a trap. Just like we're caught in a trap when the media wants to sell us a narrative of something and wants to promote something to us and sell us an idea.
But the diamonds didn't come from they come from volcanoes, you know, the QBC, you know, around that way. Come around the QBC, you know, the diamonds from a volcano and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's where the diamonds come from, the volcano.
Yeah. And the fact that it's just carbon, that's all a diamond really is, it's just carbon. But it's given an artificial value by the people who want to sell these diamonds to people.